Hey everyone, good afternoon. It's Bennett, your fantasy football commissioner, with the Week 6 ForrestLand MishMash Fantasy Football Weekly Recap. Say that 5 times fast. We actually had some really close games this week, and one nail biter in particular to talk about. And I do want to point out quickly that this is 2 weeks in a row that I'm getting the update on time on Tuesday. So I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. I'm going to try and keep the streak going every week. If I don't do it right away Tuesday, then my whole week gets away from me. So without further ado, let's talk about it. As you can see, the closest game of the year, the nail biter, 159 to 160. The Travelers hang on by the skin of their teeth over Ray Finkel's Kicking Academy. Pretty respectable points, in the upper third of the league. It was really, pretty much a close game all the way through. Obviously, Chris Ivory is a nice bonus. He hasn't been doing too much this year for Ray Finkel. But that's 2 good games. And actually, now that I look at it, he's actually having a really good year. So good pickup there. The Jets are surprisingly good on offense. A lot of points there. And the Travelers, just a nice scoring day themselves, although Melvin Gordon, geez, did he even play? It's 7 for 29 yards. He must have had a fumble, so not a good day for Melvin Gordon. That being said, it all came down to Monday night, where the Travelers had a 20-point lead with Ray Finkel getting Odell Beckham. The crazy thing here is that he had 7 catches for 61 yards and 1 touchdown all in the first half, and literally had the entire second half to get 1 catch. 1 catch is all it would take to get the tie, and if it was 9 yards or more, or 2 catches, would have gotten the victory. But for anyone who watched the Monday Night Football game, you know that the Giants' offense was pathetic and couldn't do anything in the second half. And Odell Beckham did not get another point the rest of the game, and the Travelers hold on. Big win, 160-159. They go to 4-2. Unfortunately, Ray Finkel falls to 4-2. Talk a little bit about let's talk about the high scoring of the week. The almost undefeated ForrestLand is still cleaning up as the year goes on. League high in points. They go to Sarah's team goes to 5-0-1. Just look at these points. I mean, Lamar Miller, the Miami team had done nothing offensively. All of a sudden, he gets 100 yards. Just a great day all around. 36 points from Devontae Freeman. Even in a loss, Devontae's been amazing. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 touchdowns and 300-yard games. So even though the Falcons got their butts kicked, Devontae Freeman did his job. The colon cleansers just not getting much. Eddie Lacy didn't do anything. James Starks was the hot hand. Mike Vick got hurt. Even with 26 points from Brian Hoyer, just not enough points elsewhere. And certainly a respectable day with 156 points, but not enough to beat ForrestLand, who goes to 5-0-1, is clearly the team to beat so far in the fantasy football season. We had another game. This is the better to be lucky than good game, which is the Real Slim Aussies with only 149 points. But they do get the win over Rawhide Super Mules, who's having a tough 5-game losing streak in their first year in the league. Last night was just, DeMarco Murray finally had a decent game, but Sam Bradford, I mean, goodness, shows a couple nice flashes, but then just throws pick after pick. Just very mediocre, I think, what it comes down to for Sam Bradford. So obviously needed a lot more points to catch up for the Slim Aussies, who's getting nothing from their quarterbacks. Had a bunch of buys, but decent point total, 149 to 109. But you'll see later that the Slim Aussies are definitely benefiting from not a lot of points scored against them. We'll take a look at the standings in a couple minutes. What other games do we have? We had 3rd and Oolong, defending champ, with 175 points. DeAndre Hopkins, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I mean, I definitely missed this guy. I remember last year just rooting for Andre Johnson to score points, and just every week it was DeAndre Hopkins. So this guy's amazing. A great pick for 3rd and Oolong. 37 points. You could see he's just hasn't had one bad game yet. And they get 175 points. They also get Alshon Jeffrey showing up. And look at this, Blake Bortles, the Jacksonville quarterback, getting points. So good job, third and Oolong, defeating the Stallions, who just didn't quite get enough points. Phillip Rivers was amazing. I think he had over 500 yards, 503 yards, but just wasn't quite enough. And the Stallions fall to 2-4, having a little bit of a tough luck year so far. And one final game to talk about. The Calvinators get their first win of the year. Congratulations, Greg. Had a little bit of tough luck sometimes. Sometimes just, when the Patriots were on a bye, was guilty of not putting in his starters or replacing his starters. So no sympathy there. But the Calvinators, 155 points. Obviously, Brady and Gronk are doing their thing. Matt Stafford coming off a big dud performance the week before, gets 39 fantasy points, and the Calvinators get a nice win. They're off the schneid, 1-5 on the season. Cartel fall to 2-3-1. So let's take a look at the standings, and we are getting a little bit into the season where it's worth checking out. As I mentioned before, the real slim Aussies, and no complaints here, are just getting lucky. Look at this points against. 770. The next closest is 793. So, and if you look at the points scored, hey, lowest points total in the entire league, but yet 3-3 and perfectly good 500 record. The Stallions have 60, 70 more points. The Cartel have 60, 70 more points. They have less wins. The Travelers have the most points in the league, almost 1,000 after 6 games. So the Slim Aussies are not going to complain. They're right in the thick of things. Again, we sort of have a very evenly matched division in the Mish division, and third and Oolong leading the way in the Mash division. Ray Finkel lost an opportunity to stay in the lead at 5-1 with the tough luck loss last night. And, of course, the Super Mules and Calvinators holding up the rear. So still lots of time to play in the season, not even halfway done yet. We got one more week. We'll hit the halfway point. And still a lot of exciting fantasy football to play. So once again, having the video blog on time this week, I'm happy with that. And I hope everyone has a great week. Don't forget about your buys, the Thursday night game, and get me your league dues if you haven't paid already. Thanks a lot for